So they get there, and it's this foreboding island. So, and they find like a goat that's playing like a didgeridoo, and it's just like,
and he's just like, meh.
What's up, everybody? This is Zach
and Allie
with As Far As I Can Remember. We hope that you're having an awesome time.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, we got another doozy of a tale.
Another doozy.
Another doozy. Like, we're in...
Another doozy, because
yeah,
the second
that's
one.
the second one. Today we're going to be talking about Percy Jackson.
And Sea of Monsters. I almost said Sea of Thieves.
It's going to be an awesome one. Allie remembers some, I remember some, and that's how this works. It works that way.
And, yep, that's as far as I can remember. We are going to remember this story.
Yes, and we tag team through Percy Jackson.
I kind of let you take the burden of the last one, because I was like, he's got it.
I was remembering a lot of things, so,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Hopefully, that memory will come back again.
Because as far as we can remember, the following is the true story of Sea of Monsters.
Guys, if you want to get the show a week early, you can go over to patreon.com/nerdcave. Check out the tier that you want. You can get the audio or you can get the video early. All that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You can be part of that. Be part of the ship, part of the crew,
Mm-hmm.
and be cool.
Yeah.
And if you got one of the awesome stickers that Allie drew,
Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah.
You are awesome.
Yeah.
I was waiting for it. I was like,
make him wait. Yeah.
So here we go. Percy Jackson and
Sea
the
of
Sea
Monsters.
of Monsters.
Monsters. So we start off. We're near the end of the school year.
Mm-hmm.
And Percy, he's made this new friend. His name's Tyron. He calls him Ty for short.
I think his name was Tyler.
Sure, but he calls him Ty for short.
Yep.
Calls him Ty for short. And he's like, yeah, this dude's my friend. And then Grover pops up one day and he's like, hey, man, what's up? And Percy's like, oh my gosh, Grover, you're one of my bestest friends. What's up, my dude? And he's like, hey, you know, like how we have the mist that like hides things? And Percy's like, yeah. And he's like, yeah, look past the mist. Your friend Ty there, he's a Cyclops. And Percy's like, and so then he looks past, and yeah, sure enough, Ty, he's a Cyclops, and yeah.
Yeah, and before that, he just thought he was this big, clumsy guy.
Yeah, just kind of a big, kind of clumsy guy, and
that wasn't very smart.
Yeah, no, and so he took pity on him and was like, no, you know, he needs a friend. It wasn't like he sympathized with him,
yeah.
You know, being like ostracized.
Yeah, Austria.
Ostracized.
So they find that out, and then Percy's like, hey, you're a Cyclops.
So I guess that means you gotta come with us to Camp Half-Blood, because we're going to Camp Half-Blood.
So we yeet ourselves over to Camp Half-Blood. And Chiron's like, oh.
Cyclops, that's cool.
There's a Cyclops. And they're like, okay. But he's a friendly Cyclops.
No, he's very friendly. He's a very sweet guy.
And he's, you know, a lot of other Cyclopses they eat people and they kill demigods and all of this kind of stuff, but he's different.
Yeah, he's different. He's really like half Cyclops, kind of.
Yeah.
Like he's not like a full. he's a Cyclops, but he's not like when people think of Cyclops, they're usually more of like on like a giant stature, where he's just. Yeah. He's bigger, but you know, he's a dude.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
So all that's going on. You know, Percy gets to see Annabeth.
And he's like, hi.
Hi, girl.
She's like, hi.
Not having any of it.
No.
Not having any of it.
It absolutely will never happen, ever.
Nope, not at all. No foreshadowing here.
Never.
So they're hanging out, all this good stuff. And Mr. D and Chiron are like, they keep having these meetings behind closed doors. Yeah. And like they look very frantic, and
Percy's like, something's going on. We gotta eavesdrop. We gotta figure out what's happening.
So Grover, Percy, and Annabeth get to the big house. That's where Mr. D, Chiron stay, and they are listening in, and they hear that the tree is dying. The tree that protects all of Camp Half-Blood. That's like the full barrier against monsters coming in and everything. And if they don't do something,
then
this
like their protection is going to go away, and all these monsters are going to converge on this hot spot of demigods.
yeah. And if they don't do that, then they will have to send the demigods away.
Yeah,
They'll
so
have to
where
send
they
them
won't be
back
able to
home.
protect them or
Yeah.
anything like that.
So they're like, okay, what do we do? So they start trying to figure out. And Annabeth, Percy, and Grover hear this, and they start freaking out because this is
It's scary.
it's scary. It's their home. It's where they finally feel like they're accepted,
Yes.
and like all these different things. And they're like, okay, what can we do? So they start trying to plan on their own, like
Right.
kids
Yeah,
do.
but yeah, they're 13. So
Yeah.
like, they're like, we're so smart.
So during all of that, you know, Chiron and Mr. D try to like act like nothing's going
Yeah,
on.
they don't want the kids to freak out.
So, you know, they have war games going on, and
yeah,
like
but secretly they're just really like prepping the demigods for the worst case scenario.
yeah, so it's like all this stuff going on. Shenanigans do ensue.
Shenanigans do ensue.
And Clarissa and Percy
They're
clash head to head.
Yeah, they are going at it.
And this is like the first time where like Clarissa like goes full out on Percy.
Yeah,
and
she's out for blood.
And she defeats him and everything. And like the whole time, like she's talking a bunch of trash because there's something going on with her. Like there's something like something's like got her riled up and everything. So, you know, all that good stuff. They go eat. And you hear the sound.
And they're like, oh, who's getting cleared today? Oh, it's gotta be one of those kids. They've been here forever. It's gonna be one of them.
Yeah, it's one of the Hermes, you know, cabin kids.
Yeah, one of those kids over there.
And then you see
Ty
have a symbol starting to form over his head.
Drum roll.
And it's a leprechaun that shifts into a trident.
And everyone, so Percy realizes like, oh, he's my brother. And at the one time, half of him he's really happy because you know that's his friend, and you know he cares about him.
Mm-hmm.
But the other half of him is like kind of embarrassed because he's this really clumsy guy, and people kind of like make fun of him for it. Like they make fun of Percy, like, ha, he's your half brother. Like, wow, that's embarrassing. And so he's embarrassed, but he feels kind of guilty about it. And so he's trying to be as nice as possible, but there's still like a part of him that's like kind of wishes that wasn't what happened.
Mm-hmm. And so he takes Ty to the cabin, shows him where he'll be staying and everything. And that's when we get the Oracle.
Yes.
The Oracle comes in, and this.
She's like, guess what? I got a mission for you.
More like. Yeah, it's like in the attic of the big house, and
I do kind of love the idea of like this like weird like shriveled up mummy like wearing sunglasses and being like, "Hey guys, come get your prophecy." But yeah, no, she's like this creepy old like thing. Like the attic, it's all dark and it's dusty and it smells really weird. And
yeah, it's dank. It's dank up in there,
dank, but not the good kind of dank.
So it starts saying that this is a prophecy, and the prophecy says words in a certain order.
It says like, hey, some of these kids need to go out and get the golden fleece. And they're like, wait, like the golden fleece? And Oracle's like, yes, shut up. You have to go get the golden fleece to save the tree.
Yes. But put in like prophecy language that's like really hard to understand.
Children of...
There shall be 3, no more, no less.
Oh, there's more than 3.
Exactly, that's what I said.
Yeah. It's like, kids from the camp must go on a trek to go get the golden fleece as their quest. To save the tree, they must do, because this is the plot of book 2.
And you must do it before the summer solstice. Everything's the summer solstice in these books.
And they're like, wow, you know, she kind of fell off the end there, rhyming solstice with solstice, but okay.
She's like, get off my back. I've been doing this for thousands of years, you ingrate children.
And they're like, okay, so they leave, and Chiron's like, all right, let's figure out who's going on this quest.
And they pull out the big old hat again.
Big old hat again. Percy's like, $10 says it's not me. I just went on a quest, so not gonna be me.
Yep. And then he pulls out Annabeth's name.
And Annabeth is like, ugh. I just went on. She's like, it's a part of her's excited, but it's also like, I just went on like a really dangerous quest last year. Do I have to do it again?
And then he pulls another name, which is
Clarice.
Clarice. Does Clarice go on this one? 100% sure.
Yes, absolutely 100%. Clarice is on this mission.
Okay. Clarice, and then he pulls Harry Potter's name. He's like, "Did you put your name in the hat?"
Name in the hat. No, sir. Oh, sure, yeah.
So Percy's name gets pulled.
Yeah, Percy's name gets pulled.
Like the whole time, like we're saying the hat, I was like, "I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it." So Percy's name gets pulled, and he's like, "You gotta be kidding me, bro."
And then Clarice is like, she can also like bring help with her, so she recruits 2 of her Aries buddies.
Mm-hmm. Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah, she recruits Phineas and Ferb. And so, they're like, all right, so we're gonna go on this mission. We're gonna go, follow Odysseus' footsteps. So we're gonna go get the Golden Fleece from the island. And
they're like, "So where is the Golden Fleece?" And they're like, "It's in the Sea of Monsters."
they're like, "Where's that?" And then Annabeth is like, "Hey, like the Bermuda Triangle?" Percy's like, "Yeah." And she's like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, okay, cool."
So they find the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, they head out to the Bermuda Triangle. They get there.
And on the way, as they're getting closer, things start happening.
Yeah,
like they
things
start
getting kind of weird.
They
like,
start
like a magical fog, and like once they pass through the fog, it's like, oh.
And they see these huge monsters. Huge monsters. And they're having to pass through on this boat.
Yeah, there's like these rocks, and they're like trying to navigate their way through and all that stuff.
And they hear,
And then Percy's like, "I can hear you, but I won't," and like clogs his ears so he doesn't have to like listen, because it turns out they're sirens.
Yeah.
And they're like, they're calling them in, and Percy's like, "Hey guys, clog your ears, like don't listen,
Yeah.
they're sirens." And he sees Annabeth like reaching. She's like basically about to climb off the front of the boat, and he's like, "Whoa, no, Annabeth, stop!" And then she jumps off the boat and starts swimming, and so he like dives in after her and pulls her down and creates like this bubble for them like underwater, and she's like crying because she was emotional.
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Yeah, no, that was stupid.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid." And so then he pulls her back up on the boat, and like because now they've passed the sirens, like they're gone.
Yeah. Now they're into the unknown.
Yes, they reached the unknown.
Into the unknown. And Percy's like, "Girl, why you being churlish?"
He's like, "What did you see?" And she's like, "I won't tell you the list." And he's like, but I'm your friend. Like we're friends.
Yeah.
Just, tell me
I want to be more than friends. It's like different.
Pretty much. And then she's like, "You didn't think I could hear all those creepy things or it was me." So she tells him like, "Well, I saw it was me, Luke, and a friend of ours. Her name was Talia." He's like, "Who's Talia?" And she's like, "Well, it was the 3 of us, and we were kind of like fighting for ourselves for a while. Like we were, trying to fend for ourselves before we like made it to Camp Half-Blood. And on the way in there, our friend Talia, like we were getting chased by monsters, and she stood behind to save us, but she got injured, and then And Percy's like, that's very sad. What happened to her?" And Annabeth's like, "I don't talk about it. It makes me really sad."
Yeah. And you also find out that her affinity for Luke is stronger because he found her as like a 6-year-old girl.
Yeah, she's like really young.
And like she was like in the woods and like trying to fend for herself and everything. And he found her, and then they found Talia and so forth and got to the camp. So it's a lot more deeper than just like she had the hots.
Yeah, it wasn't just, like it was one of those like it's like they have a bond, and she like kind of, and then like she developed feelings for him, but it was like maybe it was a thing of transference. I don't know. Like she was really young. She was very impressionable, and we see how he would occasionally like use that to his advantage, which is gross because he's like way older than her.
Yeah.
And so so it's one of those like, so she's like what she saw, like because it's not just like they just like the sirens are just they just entice you with like a deep desire. It doesn't necessarily have to be like, ooh, pretty mermaid over there. Ooh.
Yeah, no.
But so like she just
They're
saw.
savage, evil creatures that will devour your soul.
So it's like she saw like Luke and Talia, and like they were all happy, and they're like beckoning to her, and she was like, "Oh yes, that's what I want." So and Percy's like, "Oh well." I mean, like Luke's like super dead, so like you could like move on, I guess. And she's like,
Yeah.
"Wow, not great timing."
Yeah, that'd be a no.
Yeah. No, he's. I mean, like he's sympathetic, and he's like, pat, they're there. It'd be like that sometimes.
Yeah. And all this, you're probably asking, where is Grover? He started a franchise named Grover Tees,
Yes.
which is like a chicken shack.
No, because
It's like a
he's
figure.
a satyr. It would be like vegetarian.
No, he's going against all of it. Like he is. He's going.
You can take that up with Pan.
No, Grover is back at the camp with the other satyrs trying to save the tree. They're
Yeah,
using their magic
all
and everything.
magics. They have like their little like music magics. So like.
Yeah. Them and the wood nymphs are trying to do as much as they can to slow down the degradation
Yes.
of the tree.
Yeah.
So that's why we got Clarissa with us.
Mm-hmm.
Clarice. Is it Clarice? Clarissa?
What have we been calling her?
Clarissa.
I think he said Clarice in the first
I
one.
did.
Clarissa's on me. Her real name's Clarissa, but we'll call her Clarice. As far as we remember.
Oh, Big Red. That's what we'll call her. Big Red.
Yeah, I think she has red hair.
She does.
Yeah.
Flaming redhead.
Yeah.
Big Red.
Because it's supposed to be like she's a hothead because fairies.
So they're on the boat, and Big Red's like, "Hey, dummies, we're here."
And they're like, "Oh, okay."
And Annabeth's like, "I am not dumb."
Yeah, I'm not stupid. Do not come after me.
I am not dumb. I have the IQ of.
Yeah. Plus, it's like your father may be the god of war. My mother is the goddess of war and war strategy. So watch yourself.
Yeah, watch yourself. So they get there, and it's this foreboding island. It's like, and they find like a goat that's playing like a didgeridoo, and this is like.
And he's just like, man.
He yells like a human. So they find the island and everything, and they're like, "Okay, we gotta search. We gotta see what.
Gotta see what's what.
We see what's what and everything." And they start seeing, like some piles of bones here and there and everywhere,
But then they see there's one area where it's like things start to get really lush, and like there's just a lot of like nature growth happening. And as they like get further and further in, they realize like because at the center of it is the golden fleece.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, that's it. That's what we want.
That's it. And as they get closer to it, they fall into a trap.
Yes.
And they're struggling and everything, and someone sprouses them with sleeping powder, and they fall asleep.
Yeah, they fall asleep.
So they wake up, they're hanging, and they're in a cave.
Yes.
Dank cave.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a large cyclops.
A very large cyclops.
Fully grown cyclops.
He's like, I am ready to eat. I am starving.
Yep, I need brains.
Feed my hunger for flesh, all warm and fresh. Well, Pincer, you're in for a treat. Except the cyclops name is not Pincer.
Maybe it is.
It's just cyclops, I think. As far as I can remember, he's just the cyclops.
Psy.
Yeah, he's Psy. He's Psy.
Yep, Psy. Psy the Cyclops is, he's like getting his spices, and like he's,
he's singing the song that the chef from Little Mermaid is singing, the Le Poisson or whatever.
Oh, I thought you was just like the Swedish chef. Like, bork, bork, bork.
Oh, that's also very good.
Bork, 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 bork. And, they're like, what is this guy doing? And they're Percy, Annabeth, and Clarissa, Big Red, Clarice. The two guys, Phineas and Ferb, they fell victim to the sirens earlier.
Yes, they get pulled down and
yeah, they had their heads bashed in. So yeah, Phineas and Ferb.
Phineas and Ferb died. No, they didn't get 104 days of summer vacation.
No, Perry was nowhere to save them.
No Perry.
He was stopping Doofenshmirtz.
Yeah,
Doofenshmirtz. Yeah.
I never actually watched Phineas and Ferb.
I didn't either.
Okay.
Get on my level. So they're dead.
Yes.
Okay, so now we're down to 3.
Yeah.
Okay. And they're like, so how do we get out of this? And Annabeth was like, well, this is what Odysseus did.
So like, let's do the same thing.
Yeah, let's see if it works.
So they, because before they left, Hermes came to Percy and was like, hey, what's up? Percy's like, oh, hey, you're Hermes. And he's like, yeah, I'm Hermes. What's up?
Mm-hmm.
He's like, here, have some gummies. They're good for your health. And he's like, oh, okay, cool, thanks. And then he's like, and then here's a thermos. Just don't, the soup and it's very hot.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, cool, thanks. And so he's like, wait, we could use this thermos. And Amber's like, yeah, that's a great idea. Like, open it and, do that. And Percy's like, no, watch this. He just throws the thermos at his eye.
And like sighs like, banana, swing banana,
Banana,
and then this hot lava of soup splashes into his only eye
And
again.
he's like, I'm blind. Who did this to me? And Percy's like, nobody. Because, like, the Odysseus myth. And he's like, nobody, my arch nemesis. I love that a lot.
So they get themselves out of there, and he's
grab the golden fleece,
and the Cyclops is like chasing them. He's gotten good at like listening and everything.
Yeah, he's very tuned.
Very good at listening. Like he's really attuned to hearing and everything. And they're, as far as I can remember, they were being chased with the fleece, and they were going off for this like tightrope bridge.
Yes.
And there was goats, lots of goats. Lots of goats. Yep, he eats some goats. And Percy's like screaming and hollering, which doesn't help with him trying to get away.
Like, dude, shut up.
And Ty shows up.
Yes.
And Ty, he hog ties Psy.
Yeah, he's like, nah, not today.
Yeah, hog ties him, and like he does it really fast and like does that because
like,
that's.
Yeah, he like presses the buzzer like show like
yeah.
he did it in like 0.2 seconds.
Yeah, and he got like a really cool cowboy hat for that.
Yeah.
But so they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
They get the fleece on the boat.
Yes.
And they escape out of the sea of monsters and everything. So they head back to Camp Half-Blood, where it is the tree.
The tree is like it's on its pun intended on its last limb.
See what I got to deal with, everybody. So they're like, okay, what do we do? And someone was like, I don't know, like hug the tree or something.
Yeah, so they put the golden
like
fleece.
they were like making a joke, like tree hugger.
Yeah. And so they get the golden fleece, they put it on the tree, and then immediately it starts to heal. And they're like, this is great. And then they're like, wow, it's healing a lot. Wow, then like it keeps going and going, and they're like, this is weird. And then it's like it starts to like open up. And they're like, what's happening? And then a girl falls out of the tree. And it's like, oh my gosh, that's Talia.
Yeah.
And then that's the end of the book.
Yeah. It does end right there, right?
I think she's like, I mean, as far as I can remember, she's like, hi, my name's Talia. I don't really remember much.
Yeah,
and
her memory's gone.
Like, what?
So that's where we're kind of left. Percy goes back home and punches somebody. Yep, that's my attitude.
Sure.
No, he doesn't. He's punched enough people in this book.
Yeah. So,
more like monsters.
Yeah, they fight a lot of monsters. There's a lot of monster fighting.
Yeah, that's just have an imagination, and you can paprika all the way through there.
Yeah, a lot of monsters.
Because like the only monsters we faced in our version are the sirens and Psy.
Because like remember, it's the Sea of Monsters, so there's like a lot. There's like a lot of monsters.
Yeah.
But just like there's just too many to name.
Yeah. I also love how we named like both Cyclopses like have like a Y sound in there.
Well,
Ty and Psy.
Oh, I know that his name is Ty something.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, guys. Well, there is Sea of Thieves.
Sea of monsters.
That one too.
I almost did.
Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know what we missed.
Oh, there was because that was a lot shorter.
That was a lot. Well, we didn't have to like set up
That's true. We didn't
like
have,
the
yeah,
camp and all of that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
Just to add, Percy is still having weird dreams.
Yeah, he's always having weird dreams.
Always weird dreams in that voice. I'm gonna kill you, boy.
Yeah.
So that's still there.
Mhm.
It hadn't stopped. But we saved the camp, y'all.
Yeah, they saved the camp, and it just pretty much is like Talia's here. What? And then it ends, and you're like, what's gonna happen? And then our next book pretty much picks up like right
Yeah.
after.
Yeah. So, guys, let us know what you thought about the episode down in the comments below. Make sure if you're watching, go check out the podcast version. Subscribe to it. Give us 5 stars. 5 stars. I'm saying 5 stars. Have I mentioned 5 stars? You should go.
Hear me out. 5 stars.
Yeah. You should totally go do that. And if you want the show a week early, you can get it on patreon.com/nerdcave. You can check out all the behind the scenes stuff. Like I was working on it because like when Allie gets done with like a sketch or something, I might throw it up there.
Ooh.
You might get to see it early and be like, whoa,
Ooh,
that
what's
looks
gonna be for?
that looks cool. That looks dope.
That's fun.
Yeah. Can't wait to see all of that. And then wham, a whole week early. And if you want to get the show for free, you can check it out on this 2nd and 4th Friday of Air Month over on all the other platforms and all that good stuff. So, guys, thank y'all so much. This has been Zach.
And Allie.
Y'all have a blessed week.